Greetings, greetings. Welcome to Tanesia's Locks, Beauty Tips and Potpourri. If you are, oh darling, I'm filming. If you are, I'm gonna have to call you back, babe, okay? If you are new to the channel, welcome into my humble abode. This channel is one of my second and third and fourth homes. If you are returning, thank you for being ride or die. I appreciate every last one of you. I spent a lot of time trying to keep up with the comments, and I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to do it, but I'm going to do my best. I love you all. Giving me shout outs on the channel, chiming in. Some of you said some beautiful things to me. Albie say hello, hello mama. Said some beautiful things to me last week. Y'all know I had a rough week with my married Locs, and we will get back to that. There's a video in the queue that's probably going to come out tomorrow, because all my videos I'm doing ahead, and I just put them in the queue so that they come out so I can do some of the other things I need to do on my schedule. So when I'm in a certain space, it's easy for me to do the videos. And then after that particular video, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the resolution and some of the decisions that I made. I will tell you that I did have a conversation with the loctician, and we can talk briefly about that without getting into too much detail. I do definitely want to kind of walk that tightrope very tactfully. And I'll get into that later, but I do want to give you guys some feedback. Today, what I want to talk about, though, is unrelated. It's indirectly related, I'm sorry. And it's how to inspect your sister locks. All right. You guys know that a lot of my channel over the last year and a half has been dealing with very real issues that we have regarding the Sister Locks journey, or some of the challenges, not issues. Let's say, well, whatever. Some of the challenges and things that we need to be aware of as we go through this journey to try to maintain the health of our hair, and then to rescue our hair in a timely fashion when we need to rescue it. Because like you, I am in the space of investigative study. I do not have all of the answers. I know I have some of the answers, and I know that I spent a lot of these dendrites up here analyzing stuff and studying stuff, and I'm a very logical person. And anything that's related to logic, it's hard to get some things, past me without me saying, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. I'm an expert at that. Shout out to all my Virgos if y'all kind of know about that. And I didn't really comb my hair today, so it's looking a little some kind of crazy, okay? I got a whole lot of growth and stuff going on up in here, so it's fuzzy as heck, but I like that because I'm ODing in this area on my magical hair growth serum. All right, got a few little issues we're working on. So, the videos on this channel are designed with the intention of helping us to become more aware of some of the things we need to become more aware of, and being real serious about this journey, because this journey is a journey of longevity, you hope. And you want to be able to have your locks as long as possible and keep them healthy. And if you decide that you want to take them out, then it needs to be because of you, unless there is something inherently dysfunctional or wrong or unhealthy with this hairstyle that longevity has yet to reveal to us. We have to do the best that we can. Albie, what is it? You just came from outside. And I'm working. She knows the word. I'm working, Albie. I'm working. Thank you, darling. Unless there's something that is inherently problematic with this hairstyle, if there's not, we have to assume under the best possible circumstances, our hair will continue to grow and it will continue to thrive. And when it doesn't, we must endeavor to find out why. So you guys know I'm at a different point in my journey right now. I'm a little over 10 years. So for me, I'm getting ready to try some different things. I know what I've been doing is working, but still, I believe I'd rather be at the front of something than to be behind something. And I know my hair very well, and there's some things that I need to get back busy doing again that I was not doing on a regular basis, that I know I need to get back to doing, okay? So what I want to say with all of this is we're going to talk about today about how to inspect your locks for problems. I want to give you some suggestions. It looks like I have 12 here. And I had root balls, those little white little things that come on the ends of hair. But because I don't want to give the wrong impression about those, sometimes you're going to have those early in your lock journey, and depending upon what phase of the hair growth cycle you're in. But there's certain times that you don't really want to see those, because I need to do a little bit more research on that. I'm going to take those off my list for the time being. But clearly when you see the little white balls, you know that the hair is coming out at the most baseline level. Okay, when the hair is breaking somewhere within the strand, then you know that it's breaking somewhere within the strand, and you need to figure out why. Because if your hair was shedding, more than likely the whole hair would come out and you wouldn't have anything to worry about, right? But in this case, and it's those little root ball hairs may be more representative of that. That might be more of what you would want to see if you're not concerned with thinning, depending on the situation. But let's say we're going to do 11. All right, Albie, I don't know what this is about, but I need you to wait. Can you wait, darling? Because I just had you outside for like 10 minutes, and you needed to have gone to the bathroom at that time. So can you just wait, darling? Okay, mama. So number one, I'm starting to suggest this. Go ahead, Albie. Use your foot to open the door. I saw you over there, girl. I saw you. I saw you. Take pictures. Take pictures. And when I say take pictures, take pictures. And what are the areas you need to start taking pictures of? The front area, the areas where the thinning mostly will happen. The front area and this area. Things happen so gradually that it is very easy not to notice. All right? Take pictures and date the pictures when you take them with your phone according to the date, so that as time goes on, as you continue to take pictures down the line, you can sense where about something happened, where about the change happened, and you can start to begin to go back and draw parallels and correspondences between, associations between what you were doing with your hair at that time. Now, you're not taking pictures every week. You're taking pictures maybe twice in between retightening, or at or after every retightening and right before the next retightening, because that's when you're going to see some change in your hair. If you're doing this on a regular basis, when you get to a point to where you start to see thinning, you may not see it with the naked eye, but if you take pictures of a certain area of your grid and sample locks, you're going to be able to determine when they change if you weren't able to determine with the naked eye. By the same token, when you start using something, I am Melanin Magic's products, and I'm telling you, this is a good one. All right, this is the one that may a little tingle, burn a little bit, but this is the one that's very expensive because it's got some expensive ingredients in it. It's very costly for me to make that one, okay? But it's been effective for the majority of people who use it, especially if you're consistent. Now, some people get results pretty quickly. Some people it takes longer. When my dad talked to me the other day, he told me again, baby, my hair is really growing. And I said, well, Daddy, take a picture. He's in his 70s. That he forgot to take the picture and I didn't get it. But last year when he started it, after about a month and a half, he thought he could see a little bit of growth. He told me he could tell it was growing, but I couldn't really tell. But now he can tell that it's filling in more. And he has a very thin area up here. It's kind of bald. For me now, mine grows a lot faster when I use that stuff on a regular basis. So when I'm taking pictures, I'm going to be able to see the change a lot more readily. But the important thing is to begin to take pictures. Hell, y'all, we take pictures of everything else, don't we? So take pictures so you can do before and after contrast of your hair in a particular part of the journey. Sometimes also you can designate a few locks that you want to monitor and somehow sequester those locks. Now, that's not on my list, okay, because that's a part of documenting your hair journey with the pictures. But there's 2 locks up here I'm looking at, and I have just gently done this. I hate to do this, y'all, and I'm going to have to edit this video because of what she's doing. What is it? She's going to make me have to take her out. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Goodness, I will be back, and we need to make this fast. Come on, let's go. Not going out the front. We're going out the back. Come on, we're not going out the front. No. We go out the front, you get lost, you run off down the street, and then drama. Go. Come on, go. Go, Albie. See, she didn't have to come over there. See? talking about, messing around. Okay, so the second thing you need to do is unmarry your locks weekly. Now, you don't need to unmarry your locks weekly after about the 3rd or 4th week after retightening. Clearly, what has it been, a week and a half maybe since I had that retightening? There's nothing for me to unmarry. Okay, but once you, yes, there is. You see this? Look at this. Look at that. Now, did I do that? Or did she do that? That's just something else I didn't see. Look at that. Y'all see that? You see how Spirit will have you go up to the exact spot. That's how I found the other ones before. I just was sitting up watching TV and I did like this. I didn't do like this, like you saw me a minute ago. I did like this. You see this piece of hair now? It's only one hair. Okay. I was able to pull it out, right? Pull the hair apart. But the thing is, you want to be able to go through when your hair starts to grow. And you want to make sure that there's no marrying. And this is not necessarily something you have to do in the mirror. You can do it while you're sitting up watching TV, while you listen to a video, or something like that. Always go through and unmarry your locks after about the 3rd or 4th week of your retightening, and do it every week or every other week after, depending upon how your hair grows, its particular hair care needs, and so forth and so on. Albie, I'm not letting you outside. I want you to go out here and I want you to sit down. Prisoner 74. I want you to sit down. That movie with Forrest Whitaker, y'all. If y'all hadn't seen that movie, The Experiment, you got to watch it. All right, number 3. Avoid allowing the loctician to shampoo your hair if you are already having issues. This is my particular thing. It may not be yours, and I'll tell you why. You make your own informed decision. If your hair is already weakened, and when your loctician is washing it, she's raking through it like this, and she's scrubbing your scalp, which we've been told we're not supposed to do anymore. The pendulum has swung to this side now, only to probably come back a decade from now, back to this side, and they're going to tell us we need to be scrubbing. But the thing is, when you go in for retightening and your hair already has a lot of new growth, as soon as the water hits it, it's going to start to tangle up. Okay, now there's certain things you can do on the front end of that to minimize some of that. Some of you who don't use conditioner, if you have a lot of problems with your hair doing that, more than likely, to me, the lesser of two evils, I would put some conditioner in and make sure my hair is untangled very well, but I would spend 2, 3, 4, 5 times the amount of time washing it out. And I would be careful about the kind of conditioner that I use, and I say, y'all, this really helps with detangling. It really does. If you spray it on the hair and let it sit, it will allow you to pull the hair apart. So in addition to, once you finish shampooing, go ahead and put this on your hair, all right? So, but for some of you, you need a conditioner while you're washing it. But let's get back to the topic, which is avoiding allowing your loctician to shampoo your hair if you're already dealing with issues. Why? Because when she has to, she's in a time crunch, and when she has to, you know, do what she needs to do, she's gonna move a little bit faster, and all that hair is gonna be tangled up, and it's gonna be getting pulled apart. And I'm gonna say, even though the last lady I went to was using the scissors, in that situation where my hair was being tangled already, I would be terrified of the scissors, because there would be plenty of more reasons to be using the scissors on my hair, because my hair is gonna marry because it's been washed, right? So that's something I don't believe anybody should be using scissors on your hair after a wash. Now, it's up for debate if they want to use some scissors for some particular reason rather than pulling your hair apart when they see some locks that are married after a wash. I mean, like, not when they're washing, but when you're washing, your hair is gonna get tangled anyway in a lot of spaces. So I think that's to be debated. Don't go for that. Definitely no cutting after the washing, but if you're having issues with your hair, wash your own hair so you can pull it apart gently. And you can unmarry the locks yourself. That way, by the time you get in there, you already know what you're dealing with, and your loctician's job is easy, okay? Number 4, like I said, mark problem locks. You've got to find some way to mark the locks that are problematic. Maybe you put a piece of jewelry on that lock. Maybe you, because see, to me, there are ways that we can mark locks, and some people won't, you know, if you're somebody who's going to cry because you got a little hole in your lock or something like that, I'm not that person. I'm going to be upset if somebody married my locks, because that's unavoidable and there's no reason for that. But if I got to put a thick piece of hair weave thread in here in one area and tie a knot so that I can identify that this is the problem lock, and I can monitor that lock, and I can keep that little knot in there, but I can make sure that it's not interfering with, or it's not so tight that it's going to create problems in my lock, but I can keep it in there in a way that it helps me to know what's going on with my lock. I'm going to do that. If I need to put a little color on the bottom of one of my locks so I can distinguish this is the problem lock, be creative, but you need to mark problem locks so that you can go back and observe what is going on. Be very creative. There are a multitude of ways that you can identify all of your children. Number 5, always be looking for areas where locks are thinning. Where a lock is thinning, please make sure to look for new growing hair around that lock and subsequent reties, which is why you need to take pictures. You may have any number of reasons why it's thinning. You may not necessarily know. You could be going to your retightening. She could be tender as hell. You could be doing it on your own. You may be you haven't tightened too tight to the scalp. You're doing all the right things and you're experiencing some thinning and you're not really sure why. But at least if you can see new hair growing in, you know that the situation will be arrested. If you can't see new hair growing in and it's continuing to thin, then you know you have to take decisive, radical action to figure out what's going on, because the hair is not coming back and the area has been traumatized so much that even the increased weight and everything else you may be doing may not be helping, and you may be looking at something a little bit more chronic and something that's a little bit more serious, in need of a serious intervention. My phone cut off. So the next thing I want to talk to you about is number 6, know your growth phases. Now, your hair may be in various levels of growth in different areas. Have some sense of how your hair is growing and how it's doing and what phase of growth you're in. You know, in the summertime or certain times of the year, our hair is thriving a little bit more, just like plants grow better in the summer. Know what season your hair is in, or is it in a particularly dry? Are you having some drying at this particular time? Have you been swimming a lot because it's the summer? Is your hair sweating out a lot? What other mitigating factors are contributing to what you are seeing in terms of hair growth or loss at this particular time in your journey? Number 7, inspecting your locks, always check for buildup. Always check for buildup. Anything that we put in our hair has the potential for buildup, because anything that we put in our hair can have a static charge and will draw energy towards it, will draw particles towards it. So if you're not doing your shakeouts, if you're putting products that are too heavy, if you're even using any kind of product and you're not washing your hair very good, and you're not shaking out the dust and all the stuff that our hair will collect no matter what. There's some people will say my hair doesn't have lint. Well, I don't think mine does either, but pull apart one of them locks and see if part of the reason you lose half the hair, in addition to the fact that you're taking hair out and it's shedding, is that you've got little knots of cotton or lint or buildup that kind of helps the hair do this thing. So you have some bit of it no matter what, but that's a little different than buildup. Buildup is coming from, well, it can be, but buildup is coming from products, okay? And things that are staying in your hair that are heavier than what's ideal and are not. This is why this is medicinal, and you know this is heavier. It's going to require a lot more washing out and monitoring of your hair. While it's going to help your hair grow, definitely, this is not the product that I want all over your scalp for fun, and I certainly don't want it on your tresses, okay, on the actual lengthy parts of your hair. You don't want to put this on those parts. It's too heavy for that. All right. The next thing I want to talk to you about, number 8, look for dandruff, scalp irritation. You know how cradle cap looks on a kid's scalp, you know, the baby, and you just peel it and it looks like some type of eczema that's kind of coming up. Look for things like that in your hair. Itchy scalp, dry scalp that has some sort of physical manifestation, because eventually those things will kill your follicles and eventually cause hair loss. If you're having repeated issues with dandruff and dry, flaky scalp and you don't arrest that, over time your hair will fall out. I don't know what's going on, but go. Now. And don't come back until I'm done. Okay, next. Number 9. Have somebody else periodically survey your locks. You can't see everything. It really only takes about 7 to 10 minutes to have somebody go through and just do like this and have them just look through. And what are they looking for? They're looking for areas where locks are have been combined. And I'm going to say combined rather than married, because a married lock is kind of different than a lock that's been combined. To me, a lock that's been combined was done because of thinning. It was more deliberate, and it looks like a dragon head, and it continues and continues and continues. And up here, it's together, but then down here, the locks are still apart. They're still separate. But at the root, they are together. Now, a married lock will do the same thing, but a married lock looks a little different. It's not always deliberate. That's something else I do want to say. Some of the people that are getting their locks married, it's not always intentional, but if someone is rushing and they see it, then it becomes intentional. But it's kind of hard to sort of get a feel for what that looks like and what that intention was, and if it could have been avoided, and if they saw it. We can't really know that, but what we can do is we can presume that if it's happening on a regular basis, they darn well know it, and they're just trifling and they don't want to take the time to fix it. And they figure because you can't see it, it's no big deal. So if you're going to a new loctician from the get-go, at the second or first visit, you need to let her know I inspected every lock like I used to do with my other loctician, and I'm happy to see that you didn't marry any of my locks. You need to somehow communicate that you do monitor your locks and that you know what's going on, because to inspect what you expect, it's like the squeaky wheel gets the oil. It's the kid in the classroom whose parent is up there every day. That teacher treats that child differently. And so it's on you to be your own advocate. So that part is really, really important. Having someone to go through and just look at your locks and to inspect your locks, because believe it or not, you can have a loctician that looks down on your hair all the time and sees things that could potentially be problematic, but they don't all say anything. We're dealing with different levels of engagement, different personality types. Certain locticians are way more laid back and free-spirited. Others are very much more dogmatic, and they have a very structured process, and they check themselves, and then they invite you to check things out. They're not afraid of having people to look at their work. They don't feel intimidated. All of those things can be a part of it. So this is something that you have to do. So they're looking for any locks that seem to be thinning, because you may not know that it looks like it's thinning. They're looking, it's up to you to tell them what to look for, but you may want to have them look for areas where your grid is not straight. And to determine, is it not straight because new hairs are growing in and kind of getting in the way, and you can just get a rat tail comb and straighten that out and just bring that to your loctician's attention the next time you go in, and have her to take those stray hairs and wrap them around. Or you can have the person that's looking at your hair take those stray hairs and wrap them around the lock and see if you can't get 1 or 2 rotations in to kind of lock that hair in place. But they could be looking for just about anything you want them to look for. The important thing is periodically to have someone that you care about and trust to survey your hair, even if it's just your child, okay? Next, 10, look for weak ends. Now, the people that need to look for weak ends are the people who open up their ends, like me, the people who have dyed their hair a lot, like me, because usually when you dye your hair, you will get your ends can start to unravel. You guys know I've always liked those goddess curls on the end, so I've been opening up my ends since the beginning, and it's to the point now where I don't need to really open them anymore. Every now and then I'll have a lock that wants to lock, and I'll be like, oh my gosh, what's happening to the end of this lock? Ooh. But also, if you pick lint out of your hair like I do incessantly, you're going to experience some thinning. If you do like I did. Don't do like I say. Do like I say, not as I do. Like I had that obsession with going through, and these will be the locks in the earlier part of my journey, right? Going through and nitpicking and picking, and I have these 3 different, I don't know, y'all. I use push pins. Push pins are going to be better to use rather than the the things that we use up here, I forget, y'all, what are tweezers. And then I have this really sharp pair of tweezers that gets the cotton good, but usually I pay a price, okay? I've got to stop doing that. I've gotten much better, but I do have one in my purse, one at the house, and one in the car, because I find it easier to see lint when I'm in the car, but I don't have lint issues anywhere near the way I used to. I barely pick lint now. I just don't have lint showing up, even with the color having pretty much come out of my hair. My new hair care regimen and what I'm doing and the way I'm washing and the way I shifted the oil, it's been very beneficial to me. So I'm not suffering in that capacity the way I used to. Listen for breakage due to drying. Now listen, this is how you inspect your hair. When the person is doing your hair, it is not a problem for you to take in a spray water bottle if they don't normally spray your hair with water, or to take in your I Am Melanin Magic Oil and have them to spray your hair down while they are doing your retightening or while you are doing it. Listen to the way the tool is going through the hair, and when they're pulling this part of the lock through, you hear that? You're going to hear friction. Now we're forcing this friction, but my hair has, you're going to hear, you may hear it, not here, but you're going to hear it going through there, and it may sound coarse. If it sounds coarse, then you know your hair is a little dry and you need a little moisture. Beware of that. This is where you want your loctician to slow down. This is where you want to make sure that you add something to your hair so that it glides through a little bit more smoothly. But listen for that, because overall that's going to tell you, okay, my hair is a little dry, you know. And then number 12, I'm going to add this on the fly, is ask your loctician. Engage your loctician. At the end of each retightening, you have to be, y'all, we have to be forces for change. We have to be the grassroots, organic, shape-shifting energies for the locticians, in the sense that you have to bring to them, you have to, you know, as I say, we teach people how to treat us. You have to teach them what you want, what you need from them in terms of engagement. Never leave a loctician retightening session without saying, what does my hair look like today? Or did you notice any changes between the last time and now? Or if there was one thing you would recommend for the overall health of my hair based on what you saw today, what is it? Is there anything that I need to be aware of? Did you marry any locks to your knowledge today? Were there any locks that were combined? Are you aware that I don't ever want you to marry any locks? Did you notice any thinning? If so, could you show me which area? Ask at least at a minimum one question at the end of each retightening. This has to be on you, because we have to own this journey for ourselves. I love y'all. For those of you that are sticking around, we are going to pull an oracle card for you, and we're going to take one from Aviola Abrams, the African Goddess Oracle deck, and we want to just see what energy. I'm just going to read an affirmation to you and read a card to you that is coming up synchronistically, just like this video is. Came to me, I said, sit down, you need to do a video this evening. You just did one for Butterfly Transformations. You got to do one for the Sisterlocks channel. So I'm going to pull a card for us, for my beautiful sisters. Shout out again to all of you, and Havutu last week for sharing a video of your self-retightening setup. That's going to be the next video I'm going to work on, because of her, I set up a new station in my bathroom. I still have to put up the second mirror. So I'm going to show you her setup, and then I'm going to show you my setup, because I'm getting ready to prepare to do more of my retightenings. Okay, before I was a little scared, because you know I married some locks the first time around, and the second time around all up in here, and I had Naima to straighten them out. But now that can see, I see, said the blind man. Now that I'll be able to see, if it's just an issue of time and me standing in front of the mirror, I can handle that part. I can stand there as long as I can see the back of my hair, and I can do some retightening in a situation where I can't get all the way to Atlanta, or in a situation where my hair is craving my hands, my tender, super particular hands. Because nobody's hands are going to treat my hair the way my hands treat my hair, no matter what. Okay, and just as a side note, I want to suggest this to y'all. Something else we need to be thinking about. I got to put this in a separate video, but when you're shopping for a loctician, find somebody that has locks. Find somebody that has locks or has had locks for a considerable amount of time. Okay, that's one of the things I really like about Ephraja and Nika. Although Ephraja doesn't have them now, I think she's considering putting them back in. She had Sisterlocks for quite some time. Nika still has Sisterlocks. She's had her Sisterlocks for maybe 10, 11, 12 years, and her hair is right here. And her hair, I haven't seen any thinning. Her hair, though, y'all, is about as light as a mop. Her hair is a lot thinner than mine, but it doesn't look thin when you see the locks. But she has a lot less hair than mine. I got to get her on camera. I got to go see her. Maybe the next time I get, well, I don't know. The next time, after the next time I get my retightening, I may go to her. But yeah, I want you all to meet her. Her hair is just as light as a feather. I mean, her hair doesn't feel like she has anything in her hair. Literally. Okay? And she puts oils in her hair too. So, but she has locks, and you know, when somebody has locks and they're on this journey, they're going to maintain your hair in an entirely different way than if they don't. And I would say, other than the energy and the interaction and the rapport that you have, and this may rival that, that would probably be something I'd move up to the top of my list. Because if they're maintaining their locks and their locks are looking good, then they're going to be maintaining yours more than likely a little bit better. Also, the degree to which their hair looks healthy can reflect upon some of their abilities to maintain the health and growth of your hair. So be mindful of that. Let me pull a card. Not a leaf falls from a tree without the permission of its creator. Not a card falls from this deck except the card that's supposed to fall. And we have worthiness and we have celestial alignment. Okay, so you need to be focusing on your self-worth quotient. You need to be focusing on your celestial alignment, which is your spirituality. And these two have a lot to do with each other, because the more you come to know self and love self and value self, the more you come to know God, and vice versa. The more you come to know God, the more you up level in your self-value and your self-love quotient. They are a lot one and the same. This raises your vibration and helps you to see this. This raises your vibration and helps you to see this. So whoever this message is for, part of your getting into alignment now is focusing on your value. Making sure that you're not doing the kinds of things that dishonor you and that break down your boundaries, or that don't give credence to your boundaries. This is about taking care of yourself. Taking care of ourselves, not just getting our hair retightened and get our nails done. Taking care of ourselves is making sure we take the trash out. It's making sure we get the energies out of our life that have no business being there. It's making sure that you are doing unto yourself as you are doing unto others, because oftentimes our issue is that we're doing unto others as we're not doing unto ourselves, okay? Or we're doing unto others more than what we're doing for ourselves. So you have to be aware of all of these things. This is a very interesting message here. This is like feed yourself, okay? Really feed yourself. Make sure you know your value and pour into yourself. You are abundant. You are abundant, and you are a spiritual divine being of light, okay? And you're on a spiritual journey right now, and part of that is requiring you to look within yourself. If you like these kinds of topics, go and make sure that you sign up to my butterfly transformation site. Video that's going to be released on the 6th. It's going to be about soul contracts. Why you need to understand what type of soul contract you're in with whoever you're dealing with, and how to navigate these soul contracts is very important. My stuff, I don't feel has anything to do with religion. It has to do with spirituality. Everything is spiritual, and spirituality is everything, okay? Spirituality is moving from the dense, subtle, this dense, heavy darkness to the subtle luminosity and the lighter, higher frequencies of spirit, okay? That's you moving closer towards your creator, to God, to the highest vibration possible, okay? That's a process, and we as human beings go back and forth between light and dark, and we need to figure out how to remain more in the light and how to ascend more towards the light, because in that space, we have a greater vibration and we can step into what is our divine birthright. So that channel is Butterfly Transformations. Sending lots of love to you all. Have a beautiful, beautiful evening, weekend, morning, afternoon, night. Don't forget to catch the love, catch the love, catch the love. And you can go to IamMelaninMagic.com to order your oils if you are interested. Loving all of you.